Hello, my name is Dominic Wolfamonte. I'm the Vice President of Cottle School, and today we'll be interviewing Mr. Ben. All right, tell us about yourself. Where did you go to school? When you were a kid, what did you like doing? Did you play sports?
I was born and raised in Mount Vernon, just a couple of miles from here, and I went through the Mount Vernon public school system, and I graduated high school in 1968, and I went to Boston College for 4 years. And when I graduated from Boston College, I went to New York University for my master's degree. And that's pretty much it. When I did graduate with my master's degree, I went to work in my family business. My grandfather started the business in the early 1900s. It was a blacksmithing business, and we had that business until 2007. And that's when we stopped, and I came to the Tuckahoe school system in 2010. I'm married, and I have two young men, my children, Samuel and Matthew, and my wife is named Catherine. Okay.
How long have you been working at Cottle for?
Okay, as I said, I came to Cottle 12 years ago, 2010, and I just remembered the other part of your question from before. I did play sports. I loved baseball. I'm a big Yankee fan, always have been, and I like football and I like basketball, and I like history. I like American history, especially Civil War history.
Do you remember what your first day at Cottle was like?
I do, and it was actually, this was before your time, naturally, but the security station didn't exist. All the I had was a desk. I went right outside Miss Miggin's classroom here, and a desk and a chair, and a little time clock, and I had to monitor when people came in and when they left. And all I had, didn't have a computer, just a sign-in sheet. And that's how it was.
What did you do before you worked at Cottle?
Well, I already told you that I ran my family business, a blacksmithing business, and I basically did that for close to 40 years.
I'm Alessandro Del Mistro, the president of the Student GL. Why did you decide to work at Cottle?
Well, when I closed my business in 2007, I took a year off and to tend to my mother and father. And after about a year, when things settled down, I was looking for something to do. And that's when I saw Mr. George Albano, who was the principal at the time. And he asked me if I would come to Cottle and work at Cottle. And I was very anxious to do something, and it turned out to be a very good match for me.
What is the hardest part about working at Cottle?
There is no hard part about working at Cottle. This is a wonderful school, and I wish that I had gone to a school like this when I was your age. This is a fun place to be in, a good place to learn, and I've had nothing but good experiences here.
What will you look forward to when you retire?
Well, I have a grandson, my only grandchild, who lives 2 hours south of here in New Jersey, and I hope to spend more time with him. He's in the second grade, and he's 7 years old. So my wife and I are hoping to spend more and more time visiting him. We also want to travel. We spend our summers up in Algonquin, Maine, and by being retired, I will be able to expand that time. In fact, we're hoping to get up there in April and go back and forth between April and November.
Did you have any funny or memorable moments?
I'll tell you something that, as I get older, things that sort of come back to mind. I am remembering when I was about 10 years old, which is, I guess, about how old you are, correct? My parents took me up to Boston for a weekend, and we did some sightseeing, and we came back to the hotel. It was early afternoon, and as we were coming into the hotel, there was a rope line being set up and a television camera. My father went over to the television cameraman, asked what was going on. The cameraman whispered something to him, and he came back. My father came back and said, "We're going to hang around here for a little while." And we waited about a half hour, and eventually out came John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy became our 35th president. In fact, he was elected president 3 or 4 months after we saw him. But he came out, he smiled at me, shook my hand, and later that evening, as we were watching the evening news, guess who was on the evening news? John F. Kennedy shaking my hand. And I had forgotten that, and my sister reminded me of that about a year and a half ago. And one of the things I'm going to try to do when I retire is try to go back and see if I can locate that footage.
Hello, my name is Maya Trinidad, and I am the secretary of Cottle GO. What did you like about working at Cottle?
Well, I enjoy the people I work with. I've become very close to them, and when I retire, that's going to be one of the saddest things about retiring is not being able to see people who I consider friends and family that I have had a relationship for the past 12 years. And also, of course, I'm going to miss the children because even though I only have one grandchild, I have looked all my 12 years as though the students at Cottle were like my grandchildren also. So I'm going to miss that.
What will you miss most about Cottle?
It's just a fun place to be. And it's good to see how the children are learning and how the children develop. I've seen children at this point, I've been 12 years, so I've seen children who were in the kindergarten when I first got here are graduating this year. And it's a joy for me to see these children grow up and at different stages of their development.
What is your message to the Cottle Cubs before you retire?
As you go on in your education, naturally I would hope you would study hard, work hard, but I also would say the most important thing for you to do is to be kind to one another, and kind to your family, and be kind to yourself. If you don't always get things right, don't take it too hard, because if you keep trying, eventually you'll get it right. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Ben.
I just want to say that it's an honor to be interviewed by your 3 children, and it is sad for me to leave, but I will be thinking about you all the time. Thank you very much.
This is the Cottle Geo signing off with the successful interview with Mr. Ben.